Hi everybody, welcome to Birdie in the Books, aka Alicia. I will answer to both. This is a very overdue book haul. I have not done a book haul in 5 months. Oh my God! I'm trying to be better about buying so many books. I'm trying to read the books that are on my shelves. That is a project for this year, so you'll see a lot of content about sequels and I'm also taking part in some collabs that I will bring up. So get a snack, get a drink. This is a long one.
So grab your gap and grab a seat, but don't forget to get something to eat.
The first one is, and I've read this one, so go me.
You did it! Congratulations!
With Love from Harlem by Rashonda Tate. This was recommended to me by my friend Bree from the Lockbooktician. My first book by Rashonda Tate, but it will not be my last. This is about Hazel Scott, who was one of the first Black pianists of Harlem, and she actually had her first talk show in 1950s as a Black woman. That's amazing. And I found her by accident because I ended up watching a PBS documentary about this time last year about her, and then I found out from my friend Bree that there was a literary fiction about her. So of course I read it and I absolutely love it, and this will not be my last book by Rashonda Tate. The second book that I've read, Go Me, Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. I will be going down a Rachel Harrison rabbit hole because this is the second book in less than a couple months that I have really enjoyed by Rachel Harrison. This is a midlife crisis, mid-20s girl who gets bitten by a werewolf. And that's all I'll say. And it's really short, and it was gifted to me for Christmas, I believe, by my friend Ty from Ty's Book Corner. She will be linked down below. Everybody that I talk about will be linked down below. And thank you so much, Ty, for this lovely gift. And I read it, I believe, in January of this year. So it's one of the first books that I got to this year. Oh, and With Love from Harlem was my first 5-star of 2026. And Such Sharp Teeth was my first 4-star of 2026. Now we're getting to the books that I haven't read. I'm trying to read about history that has been not talked about that often. So I picked up An Indigenous People's History of the United States by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz.
No.
I know some things about the Indigenous community. I grew up not far from an Indigenous community, so I know some things, but I know I don't know a lot of things. Like I've gone to powwows and things, and they accepted me in their community when I was growing up, but I would like to learn more, so that's why I picked this up. The second nonfiction that I've picked up is A Disability History of the United States. As a disabled person myself, there's not a lot of well-known history. Even if you are disabled or you know someone who is disabled, they don't talk about disabled history because people want to act like people like myself don't exist. So I'm planning on changing that. And this, the foreword was written by R.I.P. Alice Wong. And this book is written by Kim E. Nelson. And it's really short, which kind of makes me sad, but I'm hoping that it'll change. I think it's always important to keep on bringing knowledge into your brain. So even though I know a lot about these communities, as I am part of one of them, I don't know everything. So I want to keep learning, growing. This is Set in Stone by Mary Mancusi. This is part of the Twisted Tales, which is all right back here. I'm, again, planning on reading books from my shelves mostly this year, and I wanted to finish the set, and this book was not available in the US, so I had to order it from the UK. And this is the Twisted Tale for...
Sword in the Stone?
Yes, Sword in the Stone, thank you. My brain just totally went woo! And this is another Twisted Tale, but this is by Farah Roshan. Be Prepared, the Twisted Tale for Lion King. And Lion King holds a special place in my heart. It was the first movie my grandmother ever took me to. So I'm really excited. And this is if what if Scar actually took over? What else would happen? Now we're gonna get to series that I'm reading. This is Wildfire by Alona Andrews. This was gifted to me by my friend Amanda at the Naughty Librarian, who will also be linked down below. She's the best. I actually got the first book in this series, burned for me, for my birthday last year. So I'm planning on reading through the whole entire series this year. And this is part of the Hidden Legacy. This is Lions of Courage by Sam Hale. I was sent this by the author because at some point this year I'm hoping to schedule an interview with the author. So it was supposed to be earlier this year, but because of life on his end and my end, we've had to finagle it around. But it will happen this year. But thank you very much, Sam, for sending this my way. And this is book 1. And this is book 2 by Sam Hale. This is, they had to split it up because of the way the book was written. But I absolutely love the cover art and can't wait to have a discussion with Sam and hopefully my friend PL from the Drowned Kingdom saga. He will also be linked down below. He's an author, but also a booktuber. This is
The Story of a Girl.
Death Rents a Beach House by Miles Nelson, who is not a local author. He was a local author in the town that I grew up in. He talks about a town that I frequented a lot as a child because my grandparents lived there. And this is part of his Kate May mystery series. And my cousin got this for me for Christmas. So I'm really excited to dive. I've read the first book in the trilogy, and now I have the second. So I'm really excited to get into this one. This is the Alexandria Quartet by Lawrence Darrell. And this was recommended to me by my friend Dee Dee at Brown Girl Reading. And I don't know much about it. And I trust Dee Dee at this point. So I think we're gonna buddy read this at some point in 2026, but I'm not sure when. And this I've also already read, but not this edition. During the holidays, I'm part of a group on Discord that does a Secret Santa exchange. So my Secret Santa exchange was the Annotated Persuasion by, this was gifted to me by Emily's Excellent Epics. Emily's Excellent Epics. Sorry about that, Emily. I always seem to mess up your channel. She will also be linked down below. She has great content. And I'm just really excited to read an annotated version of one of my favorite books of all time. And this one I just picked up just because I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. And I love the books. I love the books as a child. And this is the 100th anniversary edition of Winnie the Pooh and The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne. And I just love it because it's fuzzy, like Pooh Bear, or like we think Pooh Bear would feel like. This isn't a book, but it's connected to Winnie the Pooh in celebration of the 100th year of the 100th birthday of Winnie the Pooh. Life magazine did a full magazine on all things Winnie the Pooh. There's even some excerpts of unpublished works in this Life magazine, so I picked it up. Continuing with the Twisted Tales, this is Suddenly Super, a Twisted Tale novel. This is the Twisted Tale of The Incredibles. So what if everything was done by Violet? Again, this wasn't published in the US, so I picked it up from Blackwell's, who ships fantastically from the UK to the US. Highly recommend if you're looking for certain books that aren't published here or a book with a different cover. Oh, and that's by Jen Kalanita. We keep on going down the childhood favorites. This is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This is an anniversary edition. I had to pick it up. On the sprayed edges, it says Some Pig, Terrific, and Radiant, which if you know, those were written in Charlotte's Web. And pages, this adorable cover. And there's excerpts of letters in the back of it that are written by E.B. White. And this is one of my favorite books of all time. This is one of the books that made me a reader. So of course I picked up a special edition. This is another part of the Christmas gift from my lovely friend Amanda from the Naughty Librarian. This is book 2 in the first trilogy of the Hidden Legacy, White Hot. I've just gone down a Alona Andrews rabbit hole with all of their books. So you might see that a lot as the year goes on. And this is Alice with a Y by Anna James. This is a retelling of Alice if she went into different books. And just look at the end pages. They're just so cute. And the art in here is adorable. And this starts in March 1919. So I'm really excited to get to this. This was one of my first pre-orders of the year that came out in January. And I've been reading a lot more middle grade lately, so I'm hoping to get to this in March because this month, March, is middle grade March, so this will be on my TBR for sure. This was another Christmas gift from my friend Christine at Live from My Library. She hasn't posted or done any sprints in a long time, but I still will link her channel. I highly recommend her channel. This is a Little Women novel. This is a story about the mother, Marmee. And I'm really excited to hopefully reread Little Women this year and then read Marmee, because I've always been curious about the mom that's not really talked about that much in Little Women itself. Thank you again, Christine. And this was, I ended my subscription with Book of the Month, but I had to use the last credit, so I did this. Before I Forget by Toni Henwood Hahn. Her father in this book gets dementia, but there's magical realism with his dementia. So just with that tagline, I was really curious, and I used to work in a hospital with dementia patients. So I'm wondering if a lot of this will make sense to me, or I will relate to it because of my previous work history. This was a recommendation from a good friend of mine, I'm sorry, Jamie, I always mess up your channel. Busy Mama of Two. This is by Lindsay Lackey. This is Further Than the Moon. I am working on a project where I'm trying to find books with cerebral palsy representation because I have cerebral palsy and you don't see enough representation of that disability specifically. And this book is about a brother who finds out his other brother who has cerebral palsy wants to go to the moon and be an astronaut. The moon, Alice! And again, this is a middle grade, and I always love Jamie's recommendations. And it took me a while to find this, but I finally found a copy. So I'm really excited to get to this one. This is Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray. I absolutely love Libba Bray. I have to finish the Diviners trilogy. And I'm hoping that I can talk my friend Bree from the Locked Booktician into buddy reading this with me because we both love Libba Bray so much. And I bought this used and didn't realize I had a signed copy. So I'm really excited because I don't know if I will ever get a chance to meet Libba Bray. That one I purchased on Pango. This again was, I had to use my last 2 credits before I could cancel my Book of the Month subscription. So I picked up a reprint of their first book that they ever published or released through Book of the Month, which is Lolly Willows by Sylvia Townsend Warner. I absolutely love this cover. Nice and short. And I heard it's got magical realism. So that's kind of my catnip. And it's nice and short. And this cover is just beautiful. And this is another pre-order that I allowed myself this year. A Box Full of Darkness by Simone St. James. This is in the same town or the same world of the Sundown Motel. But this is, I believe, set in the 1990s when a young boy goes missing. I don't know much because I haven't read it yet, but I'm planning on getting to it within the next month or 2. This is Jade War. I have had Jade Legacy or Jade City on my TBR that was gifted to me by my friend Ty from Ty's Book Corner. And I am joining a read-along with my friend Nikhil from Shelf Esteem at some point this year. I think we discussed May, if I remember correctly. If you're seeing this, Nikhil, you can feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm not correct. But I'm really looking forward to it, and it was sold to me as Peaky Blinders meets The Godfather. I'm in. Need I say more? I had to finish the trilogy. I could not find the trilogy in the original cover, paperback, so I picked this one up because I think we're going to do the whole trilogy this year. Jade Legacy. I love these new covers, but they didn't have the new covers out for the first two. But again, I'll be buddy reading this with my friend Nikhil and maybe my friend Amanda. I'm not sure, but this is a definite get to this year. Next, this one I'm getting to towards the end of this year, I believe. I think I'm going to be buddy reading this with my friend Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading. This is Elizabeth Kostova's The Historian. It's a retelling of Dracula, basically. And I figured this would be perfect for like September, October time. So definitely getting to this year, but probably not till towards the end of this year. And this is one of the classics that I hope to get to this year. This is The Making of a Marchioness by Frances Hodgson Burnett. You will recognize that name because she wrote The Little Princess? Yeah, The Little Princess. And this is a lovely copy by, Persephone Classics. I picked this up while I was in Canada because Persephone Classics are hard to get in the US. So that was one of the plans for the first couple days I was there, was to go book shopping with a bunch of friends and buy some Persephone Classics. So I did that. I'm really excited to get to this year. This is a replacement copy because my initial copy fell apart. This is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I'm going to reread this as an adult because I don't think, as someone who had to read this in high school and middle school into high school, I picked up on a lot of stuff. But now that I'm officially an adult, I'm hoping to understand a lot more. And maybe I can talk my friend Alyssa from Nerdy Nurse Reads into having a discussion with me about it. She did a year of Edith Wharton and read a lot of Edith Wharton's work last year. And to continue my love of Disney, I also have The Twisted Tale of 101 Dalmatians, Cruel Truth by Jen Kalanita. Again, this was not published in the US, so I bought this through Blackwell's. I'm really excited to get to this one because 101 Dalmatians is one of my favorite films. This is
The Story of
Mice and Magic, A History of American Animation Cartoons by Leonard Maltin. And this is for research purposes because I'm working on a project. Shh, I'm keeping it quiet. I'm working on a project.
Be very, very quiet.
This is technically, I think, a textbook from a art class. But I'm secretly working on a project that I would need this for. And again, this other book, the last book of this ginormous book haul, is part of the project idea that I'm working with. It is called Floyd Norman, An Animated Life. And this is his memoir plus his work for Disney. And he also worked for Hanna-Barbera, and he was one of the first black men to be an animator for Disney in the 40s, I believe. There's a fantastic documentary by the same name, An Animated Life, Floyd Norman. Highly recommend, if you get a chance to watch it, because he's still with us. And there's very few people that are still alive that worked hand in hand with Walt Disney that are still alive. So thank you for sticking with me for this very long, very overdue book haul, but I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments a book that you pre-ordered this year that you're most looking forward to. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.